What's up, all you minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions, and it is that time of the month. That's right, time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves. We're talking about the upcoming collected editions coming out in June of 2023. So let's get this party started. And welcome back, everybody. Now, before going any further, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. Seriously, all that helps with our YouTube algorithm and our channel keep growing. And thank you so much to our patrons for making videos like this possible. Could not be doing this without you all. So, we have 4 weeks this particular month. And again, sometimes books come out on Tuesday, sometimes they come out on Wednesday, depending on where you get your books. Now, knock on wood, there's actually been very little to no delays as far as most of these collected editions. We've had a few from Image Comics, but Marvel and DC has had actually pretty good records so far. Knock on wood. That's why I knocked on wood. This is wood. And one more thing. Big thank you to Aaron Cobbs for helping me put this list together. The Marvel and the DC stuff. My brother, thank you so much. All right. Why don't we go ahead and get started with the week Uncanny Omar already trying to talk pretty one day, with the week of June 6th or 7th, depending on where you get your books. From Marvel Comics, we have a brand new epic collection of Generation X, The Secret of M, and oh my gosh, she does have a secret, especially when Larry Hama takes over the book. This collects issues 24 through 32, -1, Annual 97, X-Men Unlimited number 16, or material from Marvel Team Up number 1, the 1997 series. I'm so glad that it includes the Daydreamers miniseries in there, and Generation X Underground, because you have to put Franklin somewhere, right? His mom and dad were like in another universe. Anyway, I'm glad that's in there. The Hood, the saga of Parker Robbins. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is that if you want written documentation of this stuff, that is found over on our Patreon. I do put the written documentation there. And every month I do my top 10 choices. Let me tell you something right now. This is number 11. I love The Hood. I love the original series. So this collects The Hood 1 through 6. So freaking excellent. Written by Brian K. Vaughan. Kyle Hutz doing the artwork there. The follow-up series, Dark Reign, The Hood 1 through 5. Not so good. Not as good as the original. Actually, almost a different type of character. But this is completely worth it for the long out of print The Hood miniseries. It also includes the Dark Reign, The Cabal. So this one's $34.99. Spider-Woman by Dennis Hopeless. The complete series, even though it's not called the complete collection, because this collects Spider-Woman 1 through 10, Spider-Woman the 2015 series 1 through 5, and 8 through 17. So it looks like it's leaving out the crossover with Spider-Gwen and Silk. And then Amazing Spider-Man number 1. But it is that short-lived series by Dennis Hopeless there. Love that cover by Sia Ohm. And not done with Spidey yet, because we're getting Amazing Spider-Man Beyond Omnibus with 3 different covers. Collecting Amazing Spider-Man 75 through 93. This is the 2018 relaunch, so this takes place after Nick Spencer's Volume 1 and 2. It collects 78 Bay, 80 Bay, 88 Bay, 92 Bay, they're all Beyond, by the way. Mary Jane and Black Cat Beyond, and material from Amazing Spider-Man 74 and Free Comic Book Day 2021 Spider-Man Venom. I've had this omnibus since October, but late last year, Marvel decided, because it was originally supposed to come out in November, December, late last year, Marvel decided that, hey, we're going to shift the schedules around because we don't want people to go out and freak out when there's 8 or 10 Omnis a week. So they're starting to release 1 to 2 Omnis every week now. So that's how the new schedule is working out. Alright, let's keep going with X-Force by Benjamin Percy, Volume 6. And I've done the overview of the hardcover, and this is the stuff that's not in hardcover Volume 2. This collects issues 34 through 38 of X-Force. There is, I haven't announced it, but I think I've told the Saturday live streams that there is a Volume 3 of Wolverine and X-Force hardcovers coming out. Spider-Man Volume 1, End of the Spider-Verse. This is, of course, Dan Slott teaming up with Mark Bagley, collecting Spider-Man. It's Adjectiveless Spider-Man. It's the new series from 2022. And issues 1 through 7 are collected in here. And Star Wars, Han Solo and Chewbacca, Volume 2, The Crystal Run, Part 2. Collecting issues 6 through 10 of that series by Mark Guggenheim and David Messina, working on that book. That series, the first part was a lot of fun. From the world of DC Comics, we have the history of the DC Universe coming back to print in hardcover format. And it is an interesting time to bring it back to print because this is the stuff that came after the original Crisis on Infinite Earths. And it kind of set the status quo for the DC Universe. So, all of it is non-canon anymore. But you know what? We're talking about George Perez and his beautiful artwork. So I'll take it. And Marv Wolfman, of course, writing the stories, reintroducing these characters to the DC Universe, to readers. It's 128 pages, retailing for $24.99. It's never been available in hardcover format. It's been available, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I've had 2 different versions of the trades, and I've looked for a hardcover, because it's one of my favorites. Yeah, I don't care if it's out of continuity. It was just one of my favorites after reading Crisis on Infinite Earths. Wonder Woman, Historia, The Amazons. That is a beautiful cover. This is a hardcover. It's one of the Black Label books. Kelly Sue DeConnick, Phil Jimenez, Gene Hahn, Nicola Scott. No wonder. Man, that is a hella talent right there on just art alone. Wow. And that cover is awesome. So this one is $29.99, 232 pages. Batman Fortress. Derek Robertson, that's all I needed to see, drawing Batman. Holy crap. It's a hardcover for $29.99, and it is written by Gary Whitta. Nightwing, Volume 1, Leaping into the Light. Now, this is finally coming out in trade paperback format a year after the hardcover. So, used to be every 6 months they would do hardcover, then trade paperback, but now it looks like it's a year apart. Collecting the Infinite Frontier era of Nightwing, which are issues 78 through 83. From the world of manga, we have Attack on Titan, Volume 11. This is the Omnibus edition, by the way, so it's the 3-in-1s. However, this 3-in-1 is just volumes 31 and 32. But it does have 600 pages of behind this, or 600 pages in the book, so it's got a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff in there. We also have Dragon Ball Super, Volume 18. Man, I'm just glad this series is continuing. My daughters and I, we're on Season 6 of Dragon Ball Z, because that's right, the original. None of this, what was it, Dragon Ball Z Kai or Abridged or whatever, the cool kids that want to skip all the boring parts watch. None of that nonsense for this family. I gotta make sure my kids suffer through the same filler episodes that I did, so they learn to appreciate the good. That's what kind of father I am. Futari Escape Volume 3 is coming out that very same week, and this one is published by Seven Seas Entertainment. Not sure what it is, but it was just the cover that captivated me. And speaking of covers that captivate you, Do You Like Big Girls Volume 7? Yes. Captivating covers. I'm Kinda Chubby and I'm Your Hero Volume 2. I love these titles. You all know I love popping up the titles up here of manga that my buddy TikTok Tina reads, and I have no idea what it is. But it just makes me happy that they're releasing stuff like this. They are not shying away from anything anymore. March Comes In Like a Lion. That sounds like a Taylor Swift song. By Chika Umino is the writer and artist. This is published by Dempa Books. From Dark Horse Comics, we're getting the Blab, Volume 1. Now, Dark Horse is still in the middle of moving things over to PRH, so some of these books may already be out at your comic book stores. And I'm just going with the market, or the actual release date that I have for everybody, including comic book stores and bookstores. Resident Alien Omnibus Volume 2. Now, this is something I've been wanting to read for a while. This collects Volumes 4 and 6 of Resident Alien, The Man with No Name, and Alien in New York, and Your Rides Here. And Lot 13, Steve Niles with Glenn Fabry back together. Oh my gosh. Steve Niles is the guy that did 30 Days a Night. It was solid. was solid. It reminded me of a not Twilight Zone, Tales from the Crypt episode or comic. And, of course, Glenn Fabry is the gentleman that did all the covers for Preacher. And he's doing internal artwork for Lot 13. Paperback format, and that's 128 pages for $19.99. Sons of Asgard 3 Met in Elmgard. This is a paperback for $19.99. And it's getting all kinds of praise, by the way. This is by Chad Corey. This book gets a lot of praise from a lot of creators within the industry. So I may want to check it out just on the praise alone from their peers. Dot Self, I assume is a dot, right? Not point self. This has a really cool cover. I don't know what it is, but I may want to just check it out on the cover alone. Christopher Sabella is the creator behind that. Navigator is coming out in hardcover format by John Bruno and Jordi Armengol. And that is $24.99, 104 pages. And Lost Falls, Volume 1 is coming out. This is in paperback format, $22.99. And the only thing I know about this is that it's been described as Twin Peaks meets Lovecraft Country. Say no more. Sometimes that's all it takes. The Final Girls by Cara Ellison and Sally Cantarino. Paperback format, 168 pages for $22.99. And The Critical Role, The Mighty Nine Origins, Molly Mauk Tea Leaf. This is a show that both the amazing Amanda and Wonder Maddie watch, and I have no idea what they're ever talking about. I think it's a YouTube show, right? And then they made it into a cartoon. Sorry, sound like an old man out of touch, because I think I am an old man out of touch with what's going on with these new manga titles and these new shows on YouTube, like Near Mint Edition. All right, moving on to the world of Image Comics. We have Bloodstained, and this book right here is Volume 4. It's by Linda Sajic. I want to say that's Stepan Sajic's wife, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It is all written and drawn by her, and this is Volume 4. It is a trade paperback. Love to see that in hardcover collection. Inferno Girl Red, Volume 1 by Matt Groom and Erica Dorso. This, I believe, is all, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because all these names and covers, I feel like it's all part of the Radiant Black universe, if I'm not mistaken. Please let me know if I'm wrong. Invincible Universe, Volume 1. So, this is one that's really confusing for me, because it is labeled as a trade paperback, but I could have sworn they said this was going to be a hardcover, but the hardcovers might only be available through PRH, or not PRH, I'm sorry, Diamond, but it's labeled as a trade paperback with the retail price of $39.99. This collects the Invincible Presents Adam Eve miniseries, the 2-issue miniseries, Adam Eve and Rexplode, 3-issue minis, Guardians of the Globes 1 through 6, and then the second Guardians of the Globe series 1 through 6, and then Invincible Universe 1 through 12. I guess we're gonna find out soon enough what it is. Chroma by De Felici is coming out in trade paperback format, and that is Lorenzo De Felici collecting the issues of Chroma 1 through 6, and that cover, oh, it's beautiful. Love the colors. Hair. And Spawn Origins coming back in trade paperback format, collecting issues 147 through 143, or 153 of Spawn. Todd McFarlane, Brian Hogan, David Hine, and then Angel Medina and Philip Tan, with Greg Capullo on artwork there, or the covers rather. And Go-Go Power Rangers Deluxe Edition Volume 2. This will wrap up that era of Go-Go Power Rangers. It's weird because it started off as the stuff that happens before the ongoing series, and then when they had the big Shattergrid crossover, that was kind of it. So this collects issues 17 through 32 of Go-Go Power Rangers and Forever Rangers one-shot. This one is $75. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, Volume 1 by Jason Aaron I've seen the cover or the covers of the single issues. This collects the 5 issue series. I don't know if it's. I assume it's still ongoing, but I've been wanting to check that out for a long time. It looks so good, and we're getting from Fantagraphics. We're getting Anais Nin, A Sea of Lies. This is coming out in hardcover format, and it is $29.99. More Johtoverse books. You gotta love these. And these are solid because you're getting Mad Woman of the Sacred Heart in this library edition. Big fan of those. If you've never read any of his work, completely worth it. Because a lot of these, when they go out of print, they become impossible to find. So not only does it have Mad Woman of the Sacred Heart, by the way, completely adult content in that one. It's a woman that's addicted to sex, so of course, I have to mention that it's got mature content, and it's Johto, and it's Mobius. Beautiful, beautiful artwork in that, though. It's also got Twisted Tales, and then it's got other selected stories in here. $39.99. I love those books. Humanoids have been publishing those for a while, and they're freaking awesome. Nightmare Brigade, hardcover, volume 3. Finding Alice. I almost said alone. Strangers in Paradise is coming out with a new printing and trade paperback format. This is, of course, the stuff by Terry Moore. It's been released in digest-size trade paperbacks and hardcovers and omnibus editions that are softcovers in a box set. And in case you want to go back to the beginning or try it out to see what it's like, here we go. It's coming out in trade paperback. Turning Japanese is getting an expanded edition by Oni Press. This is a hardcover for $29.99. It's all written and drawn by Marie Naomi. And we're also getting Lore Olympus hardcovers volume 4. Now, if you've not heard of this series, honestly, I haven't either. This is published by Random House, who's also a publishing a distributing company. Holy crap. This book sells so well in the book market. They're all webtoon comics. I never heard about it until I was at a Scholastic fair. And a Scholastic fair is where I go and kind of see what the kids are buying. That's where you're going to see a lot of the Marvel Digest size books, or the Mighty Marvel Masterworks, or the DC stuff that are for the what is their young imprints? DC Inc. I can't remember their young imprint line. That's where you're going to see those type of books. For anybody that's wondering what kind of kids are reading these comics, the Scholastic Fair kind of gives you an idea of what kids are interested in comics. There's a lot of Miles Morales that sells through there. I remember Spider-Gwen and what was the other? There was another title. Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. But a lot of Catwoman books. But this is the one that I remember. This, of course, Captain Underpants, Dogman. Oh my gosh. It must have been the middle school. But anyway, it's a webcomic, and it's crazy how popular that is. Boys Weekend, coming out in hardcover format and in graphic novel, or softcover format. Apologies for that. From Presto Publishing, we have a book by Monica Foggia, and this is Nikki de Saint Fallet, the story of her life. And we're also getting Arena Takes Manhattan, and that's coming out in a trade paperback format, and that's published by Ignite Entertainment. And finally out everywhere is the Atomica Omnibus. It's the hardcover edition, volume 1, by Andrew Dabb and Sal Abinanti. The cover is by Alex Ross. This was a Kickstarter, and it was exclusive to the Kickstarter. I think in the third week of June, there's going to be an exclusive signed version of this same release, but it is finally coming out from Mercury Publishing. So this is where you meet the character of Atomica, which it's kind of like people see him as a god, but there are many of those in the Soviet Union in this alternate Earth. It was a really good read. My buddy Kyle sent me the Kickstarter for that last year. Solid. I really enjoyed it. Harvey's Choice is coming out, published by Word Song, and that is a graphic novel. Hogbook and Laser Eyes, printed by Fantagraphics. This is a hardcover, and it is by Maria Bamford and Scott Marble Cassidy, and it is $19.99. It's an autobiographical story, oh man, of her romance with LA painter Scott Marble Cassidy, as well as her droll pug sidekicks, Blueberry and Bert. It looks adorable. And we're getting Kariba in graphic novel format, and that is published by Catalyst Press. And from Dynamite, we're getting, well, the Near Mint Condition logos are not included on the cover, but this is the Karma Michael rare cover hardcover edition for $34.99. It's all his covers from Boom Studios, Avatar Press, and Xenoscope, and all found here. Yes, mature content, obviously. Vern, Custodian of Universe, is coming out in graphic novel format. The week of June 14th or 13th, depending on where you get your books. I'm putting 14th, though, because that's when most people will have it accessible. From Marvel Comics, we kick it off with Loki, God of Stories, Omnibus. I could not pull this book away from my wife. As soon as I got it in, I think I put it in the background to read it, and then she just took it. So I gotta make sure to read it before I do my overview. Maybe she'll help me with that. But this collects Loki, the 2004 series 1 through 4, 2010 series 1 through 4, Agent of Asgard, completely worth it for that alone, 1 through 17, Original Sin 5.1 to 5.5, Vote Loki 1 through 4, Loki the 2019 series 1 through 5, Avengers Loki Unleashed, and then material from all new Marvel Now, .1, and War of the Realms Omega. The book has 976 pages, and it is $125, and it is the modern collection of Loki stories, to go with that classic collection of Loki stories that came out, when was that, 2 years ago, I think? But, yes, that's a good one. Did it make it in my top 10? I don't know, maybe. Oh gosh, top 10 was hard, because then we have books like this. The Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 5. You may see that in my top 10. Both covers available the same day. Maybe I'll just wait to talk about it on my top 10. Spoilers! X-Force Epic Collection Armageddon Now. We're finally getting stuff that has never been collected in any format. Collecting X-Force 85 through 100, X-Force Champions Annuals 98, and X-Force Annual 99. The big question is, how are they going to deal with the next volume moving forward? Because then you get to the Warren Ellis era, but after that, it's the Peter Milligan and Mike Allred era that becomes X-Force, but it is a completely different beast. That probably fits more into an Ecstatics modern epic collection. So it's going to be interesting how they map these things. But yes, this one is $44.99. You have John Francis Moore writing a lot of the stories in here. Artwork by Jim Chung and Terry Schumacher, just to name a few of the artists. And of course the cover there by Jim Chung. I love this era of X-Force, by the way. So glad it's being collected. Black Panther by John Ridley, Volume 3. All This and the World 2. This, I believe, concludes his series. Black Panthers 11 through 15 is what's collected in here. I actually like the first volume, but people told me that it was bad, and then the second one wasn't that good. So I don't know what to expect from here. Very excited for e-viewing, though. I loved her Ironheart. I thought it was excellent. If you've not read it, definitely check it out. I think most people can't stand the character because, unfortunately, she was a very tropey creation by Brian Michael Bendis. I think he wanted to recapture that magic that was Miles Morales, and it just did not work. But e-viewing, my gosh, that, unfortunately, by the time her miniseries, or I guess her ongoing came out, most people were done with the character based on what Bendis did. But I was a big fan of her run. So excited to see what she does with Black Panther. Murder World by Jim Zub and Ray Fawkes. And this is $15.99, collecting Murder World Avengers, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Moon Knight, and Game Over. I assume this is the return of Arcade if we're talking about Murder World. And I don't see Arcade on the cover. As a matter of fact, I just see Spider people. So, maybe. Wolverine by Benjamin Percy, Volume 5, collecting issues 26 through 30. Juan Jose Rip is the artist on this particular book, and that is a cover by Lionel Francis Yu. From the world of DC Comics, we have Dead Boy Detectives by Toby Litt and Mark Buckingham. Mark Buckingham! $29.99, collecting Dead Boy Detectives 1 through 12, as well as the short stories run ragged from Witching Hour 1, Ghost 1, and Time Warp number 1. This is a paperback, and it has 296 pages. So this is part of the DC Black Label line. It's the new... I don't know why it's not labeled... Because I think this is the new Sandman line. Because we are going to get the classic Dead Boy Detectives, stuff that I've not read, in the Omnibus edition. Superman Camelot Falls, the deluxe edition. They seem to be putting these out because... Yeah, we've been expecting an Omnibus, but you know what? I'll take it. I'll take Camelot Falls. $39.99, 288 pages. Absolute Dark Knights Death Metal. So we've had an Absolute Knights Metal, or Dark Knights Metal, and now we're getting the follow-up, the series that kind of finishes off everything until Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo want to come back and do another one. But this is Dark Knights Death Metal, collecting all 7 issues of Death Metal. $100, 288 pages. Teen Titans Academy Volume 2, Exit Wounds by Tim Sheridan and Rafael Sandoval. Wrapping up this series and now in trade paperback format. Dark Crisis, Young Justice. Dude, I saw this cover and I got excited. I'm like, what the hell is this? But it is not the Peter David and Todd Nauck, by the way. I was so happy that DC decided to finish that series out in collected edition, so props to them for doing that. Maybe we'll get an omnibus one day. But this is by Megan Fitzmartin and Laura Braga, and it's part of the Dark Crisis tie-ins, and this is the mini-series that collects all of Young Justice 1 through 6. Batman Beyond the White Knight. Sean Murphy is the writer and artist. It is a hardcover. This is the standard size. Eventually they'll do a deluxe edition, and I'm sure one day we'll get an omnibus of this era. But this is $29.99, 264 pages, collecting Batman Beyond the White Knight 1 through 8, and Batman White Knight Presents the Red Hood 1 and 2. From the world of manga, we have Favorite Pop Idol, Mated and Budokan, Volume 1 coming out. And that is published by Tokyo Pop. I love that Tokyo Pop is still doing print on demand. And not sure how many licenses they still have, but they're still kicking. Blade of the Immortal, Deluxe Edition, Volume 9, getting closer and closer to that end. And now we have a Trigun Deluxe Edition coming out later this year. Yeah, very excited for that. I've been hush-hush about that for, oh my gosh, ever since I started talking to Dark Horse again, about 2 years, a year and a half. Yeah, it's been a blast getting to know all these behind the scenes. And whenever they need me to announce books, I'll be more than happy to. But yes, that makes me happy. I know a lot of people really enjoyed Trigun and love these deluxe editions. So keep an eye on the channel because I'll be making my most wanted manga in deluxe edition format. I've been saying that for like, what, 2-3 years? Don't hold me to that. Sorry. Manga tour coming later this year. That one's not on me, though. Centaurs Volume 1 is coming out from Blaze Publishing. So Blaze has been doing things from Europe and manga, so I love to see a Blaze just publishing all kinds of books. And we're also getting Disney manga Nightmare Before Christmas, Zero's Journey. That one's for my wife. She's all about Nightmare Before Christmas. Saving $80,000 gold in another world. Volume 1. Oh, man. Can you imagine, like, any old manga readers out there, like, you know, reading manga 30 years ago, can you imagine a title like that? For the love of God, we have to change things like Area 88 to UN Squadron because they didn't think it would sell, right? We have to change titles of books. Now we're just like, yeah, just go ahead and put that out there. Saving $80,000 in gold in another world, Volume 1. People buy it. And they do. They do. Definitely a following for that stuff. Terror Man coming out. Volume 1. And that is being published by Ablaze as well. They're coming out strong. Yashihime, Princess Half Demon, Volume 3. That cover. Wow. That is a beautiful cover. Prophecy, the complete omnibus edition, is being published by Vertigo Comics. And this is $29.99 by Tetsuya Tsutsui. So I believe there's not a volume, so that's all in one. Wolverine Snicked is coming back to print, this time around by Viz Media, not Marvel Comics. So this was originally published by Marvel Comics right around 2002, 2003. This is, by the way, by Nihei, and he's the gentleman that gave us the Blame by Omega, those books. But he was huge then, and they decided to publish this particular book. So I wonder what the format it's going to be. I wonder if it's going to be the Tankobon format for $19.99 or if it will be oversized format. Regardless, that's pretty cool that it's coming back to print. Now, again, from Dark Horse Comics, the thing that I like to tell people to keep in mind is that these books may already be out. You may already have seen these books because the dates here that I'm going for are the street date for both the book market and the direct market. So please keep that in mind. All right, we're kicking it off with Creepy. I know some of my viewers have asked me about this, that it's wonderful. They're coming back to these. This collects the first 5 issues of the magazine. It's in paperback format, $24.99, 248 pages. What are the odds they're going to reprint the hardcovers? Not so good. Not when they're focusing on paperbacks. Frankenstein, New World by Mike Mignola, Christopher Golden, and Michelle Madsen. Collecting Frankenstein, New World 1 through 4. So this is all set in the world of Hellboy. Red Tag, and here's a name. Okay, Rafael Albuquerque and Rafael Scavone are the writers on the book. Roger Cruz is the artist. Roger Cruz. That guy is still drawing. Good for him. You know, I remember that guy in the 90s before comic swipes were huge. And here's the thing. Comic swipes have always been a part of comics, right? Some people call them homages. Some people call it right down stealing because they don't credit other artists. Some people calling it art inspiring art. And it's been a thing, not just in comics, in the actual art world, right? But Roger Cruz is one that I remember going, that guy's Sabretooth looks a lot like Jim Lee's Sabretooth. That guy's Rogue now looks a lot like Joe Mad, but he was able to change his style. He was fast, and he was mimicking people's styles, and eventually developed his own style, and here we are now, years later, doing his own book. So, my point is, you know, some people, like Travis Charest is another one that I remember thinking, that guy is a Jim Lee ripoff. That's what we would call him. That was young and stupid. Now, man, that man is just, he's at a different level. So, you know, when you start, and Don Rosa's a prime example. He used to trace Carl Barks' ducks because he didn't know how to draw. Like, he was a self-taught artist, of course, when it came to the world of ducks. And a lot of the composition and then the sequential art, you know, he was tracing some ducks, some Carl Barks, and he admits to it. And look where he is now. Phenomenal creator. All right, sorry. I don't know what my point was. Oh, Roger Cruz. Avatar, the High Ground Library Edition is coming out. So it's another book in library format, based, of course, on the world of Avatar by James Cameron. Joyama, Volume 2. I love the first one. The first one was such a good, nice surprise. This alternate world. I did an overview of it maybe 2 years ago. Now Volume 2 is coming out by Daniel Isles. From IDW, we're getting the Star Trek Library Collection, Volume 1. So this is stuff in here by Mike Johnson and Scott Tipton. David Messina are some of the creators. So that's who has, somebody was asking who has the Star Trek license. There's your answer. That's who's got it. All right. We're also getting My Little Pony, the classics reimagined Little Fillies, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, the covers. That book is beautiful. I'm going to do an advanced overview of it here in this coming week. Beautiful, beautiful book. That's, by the way, you need to read The Last Ronin before you buy this, though. Don't just look at the covers, because there's a bunch of spoilers. So I'm going to put a spoiler tag on that video. Cosmo Knights Volume 2 is coming out that very same week. And we're also getting Brutal Nature Omnibus coming out that week, as well as the Night Fever hardcover. And Cobra Volume 7. I'm thinking that they're still going to be doing the hardcovers. We've only got one so far. I hope they really finish those out. Ice Cream Man Volume 8, Subjects and Objects, and very happy that they're continuing the Sunday editions of Ice Cream Man. Stringer hardcover is coming out. I don't know why I said it like that. I think I was just channeling my Springer from Transformers. But this is by Patrick Kinlan and Paul Tucker, $22.99. Now, the dates may change because right now they're also transitioning Image Comics from Diamond exclusive to now moving to Lunar, the same people that do the DC Comics distribution. Something is Killing the Children Volume 6 is coming out that same week. I'm hoping for more of the slipcase edition sometimes. Berserker Volume 1, now available in trade paperback format. Keanu Reeves, Matt Kent, Ron Garney. How have I not read that yet? Maybe I was waiting for a deluxe edition? I don't know. Firefly Return to Earth, that was Volume 1 by Greg Pak. You know, he's been writing these for a while. And that cover's by Bengal. Didn't even notice that. Nice. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Bengal's artwork. Gnome and Rat is coming out that week from Knopf Books for young readers. That cover is I love that cover. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've been watching so many things with my kids and the cousins come over, their younger cousins, and it's just adorable to see what they find funny and then as opposed to what I find funny. Anyway, Legends of the Pierce Veil Izuna is coming out. Now that is a humanoids book and it's set in the world of Izuna. I love that all these little worlds that are within the humanoids publishing. I mean, you have the Johtoverse, you have, well, I guess Incal and Metabarons and Techno Priest, all that's the same universe. But it's cool that there's universes within the universe, or I guess a publisher. And we're also getting Love Report. It's coming out in trade paperback format. Nuking Alaska is coming out. And Parallel in trade paperback format. Now, Parallel is published by Oni Press as well. And we're getting The Prophet coming out, and that one is published by Graphic Mundi and Sue Press, so it's maybe it's a collab publishing by David Lewis. It was first published in 1923. It's unquestionably the most popular work of free verse published in English language during the 20th century. Witch's Throne Volume 2 is coming out that very same week, as well as Bobby Digital and the Pit of Snakes. Double Trouble is also coming out in hardcover format. I don't know who is reading these, but they always pique my interest because I don't know if it's for kids. Because, you know, sometimes just because the art style looks like it's for kids does not necessarily mean it's for kids. From Fanatic Graphics, we're getting Elise and the New Resistance, and that's coming out in hardcover format. Faint of Heart is coming out in hardcover and in softcover format on the same day, and that is published by Green Willow Books. And Fantagraphics Underground Mystic Debris is coming out in hardcover format, as well as Frank Frazetta, Death Dealer, trade paperback. I believe that was originally published in hardcover, Volume 2. I Never Found You is coming out, and man, that looks like a deep read. That is from Floating World Comics, and we're also getting The Last Comic Book on the Left, trade paperback, Volume 2. LSBN is coming out in graphic novel format, LSBN. I assume that's lesbian? Maybe? Silver Sprocket is publishing that by Emma Jane, $14.99. Oh, it's a lesbian mech rom-com. Got it. Yeah, just leave out some letters. I could figure it out. I'm pretty smart. New Men trade paperback is coming out, and that is being published by Action Lab Entertainment. It's Leap of Faith, Volume 1. Phantom, The Gold Key Years hardcover, Volume 2 is coming out. I'm curious what the restoration is like on those. That's published by Hermes Press. So this is the 1960s adventures, collecting issues 9 through 17 of The Phantom. And from Silver Sprocket, we're getting Procariat Season by Leo Fox, $24.99, and that is a softcover. And Trident of Aurelia is coming out, as well as Wakfu Volume 1, The Quest for Eliatrope Doofus. Love that name. Now, if you live in Europe and you're interested in purchasing any of these books, check out our sponsor.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltzcomicshop.com, and you can use the code nearmintcondition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
The week of June 20th or 21st, my anniversary, and we'll be in Japan. That's right, you probably will notice, if you come to my channel all the time, that there won't be that many videos for a couple of weeks, because we're taking some time off from the channel. First time I'm taking off from the channel and making videos and reading every day for 3.5 years. So my wife said it was time because I need a break. So, but we will be back. We'll be back on a Saturday live stream, and yeah, so we'll be in Japan during that time with the kids and everything. But anyway, back to this. Wolverine Epic Collection To the Bone is coming out. And that collects issues 76 through 86 of Wolverine, Cable number 16, Wolverine Evolution, Wolverine and Nick Fury Scorpio Rising, and Ghost Rider Wolverine Punisher The Dark Design, which is the follow-up to Heart of Darkness. And this is the Bone era, hence the name, To the Bone of Wolverine. Mighty Marvel Masterworks Captain America Volume 2, The Red Skull Lives. Collecting Tales of Suspense 78 to 94 and Not Brand Ek number 3. And we're going to do some family reviews with Mighty Marvel Masterworks, bringing them back. Trials of X Volume 10 is coming out that very same week, collecting Hellions 18, Excalibur 26, Marauders 27, New Mutants 24, and X-Men number 6. Gold Goblin by Christopher Cantwell. Love everything he's written so far, so I gotta check that out. Lan Medina, collecting the 5-issue miniseries. Captain America Symbol of Truth, Volume 2, Pax Mohanda. And that is the new Falcon. Well, I guess he's been Falcon for a few years there in Captain America, collecting issues 6 through 11 of the Symbol of Truth. Planet Hulk World Breaker by Greg Pak and Manuel Garcia, collecting the 5-issue miniseries showing the return of Greg Pak writing the character. He's the gentleman that did the original Planet Hulk and World War Hulk. Secret Invasion Mission Earth by Ryan North, who is the new current writer on the Fantastic Four, and Francesco Mobili is the artist, collecting the 5-issue miniseries. And Deadpool Volume 1, this is the series by Alyssa Wong, collecting Deadpool 1 through 5 and material from New Mutants number 30. So something you may have noticed is there's no Omnibus that day. So what happened to the idea of making one Omnibus come out every week, 1 and 2? Well, that's because the following week has 3 Omnis. So that's what happened. Alright, from the world of DC Comics, we have Batman the 1989 adaptation. So this is the 1989 movie. The Flash, The Fastest Man Alive box set. And this collects Flash, The Fastest Man Alive, Flashpoint, Batman 1989, the movie adaptation. And The Unwritten Compendium by Mike Carey and Peter Gross. One of my most wanted books that I was hoping would come out in some kind of hardcover format, but we are getting it in this compendium edition, and that's okay. Batman One Bad Day, The Riddler from Tom King and Mitch Gerards. This is 88 pages. It's an original graphic novel for $17.99. And they are going to release a box set where you can put all those books in. From the world of manga, we have Alice in Borderland, Volume 6. You know, I haven't read that series, but I'm loving those covers. And I know some of you all have been keeping up with Alice in Borderland. Gurren Lagann is coming out, and that is the archives, the artwork. The Essence of Being a Muse, Volume 1 is coming out, and that is being published by Yen Press with a brand new number 1. And Higurashi, When They Cry is coming out. Now, I want to say this one here, is this a new series? Because I feel like this was previously released. This is by Yen Press, or this might be another series, or a follow-up series. I've been so out of touch, but I did like the When They Cry series. I thought those were well done. And Horizon Volume 1 is coming out, and that is being published by Ize Press. I'm not really familiar with them. Medaka Kuroiwa is impervious to my charms. And Scribbles is coming out in hardcover format, and this is published by Vertical, or I'm sorry, by Yen Press. So this right here is a collection of sketches from Kaoru Mori, who is the creator of Emma and A Bride's Story. Big fan of both of those books. I love both of those books. And we're also getting Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop, Volume 1. Now, from the world of Dark Horse Comics, we're getting The Roadie. This is by Tim Seeley and Fran Galan. And this collects The Roadie 1 through 4. From IDW, we're getting Sonic the Hedgehog Volume 14 by Evan Stanley. And this is $16.99, collecting issues 52 through 56 of the IDW era of Sonic. Hoping for more, fingers crossed, for more of those hardcovers. Really like those. The Unbeatables is coming out from IDW. And from the world of Image Comics, we have Gospel. And that is a book by Will Morris, who does the... Actually, he does the art and the writing there, and collects the 5-issue miniseries. And we're also getting I Hate Fairyland, Volume 5. Scotty Young returns to these characters. This is the 2022 series. This stuff has not been collected in hardcover. This is the follow-up. But now you have artwork by Brett Bean, who is the artist on that, and Scotty Young is the cover artist. Junkyard Joe is coming out, and that is in trade paperback format. And Volume 1, this is published by Image, yes. But Jeff Johns is reunited with Gary Frank on this book. Those guys just have been working together on so many things. Geiger, and then, of course, their work at DC Comics. So they've worked a lot together. Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus. I'm trying here. This is a original graphic novel by Alexis Lariguier de la Plante and Natasha Terra Petrovic. And let's see, it's their popular webcomic, Ophiuchus. Oh, nope, not even that book right there. That's what that is. But it is a webcomic now being printed by Image Comics. And Sons of El Topo is coming out in hardcover format. This is, of course, part of the Johtoverse, but it's the new series by Ladron. So it is written by Alejandro. It's very interesting because I thought Humanoids had the El Topo, but of course this is Sons of El Topo, which was a movie that was done by Johto. So what's that? Oh my gosh, 1970, I think. It's got a huge fan following. Alice Ever After is coming out in trade paperback with a cover there by Dan Panosian, and it is written by him, but the artwork here is done by Giorgio Spalletta, collecting Alice Ever After 1 through 5. And then Berserker is coming out in trade paperback format, but this is now Volume 2. So Volume 1 comes out the week before, and then Volume 2 comes out the following week. Excited for the people like myself that haven't read them. Maybe I'm waiting, like I said, for the deluxe edition. I don't know why. Maybe I should just try to go ahead and read it. Freak Buck is coming out in hardcover format, and that is published by Fanatic Graphics. And then we're getting the latest, yes, I love these, Walt Disney's Uncle Scrooge Cave of Alibaba is coming out in hardcover format. $35. I saw the latest one, the latest solicit, I think is going to go back to, it'll be Volume 3, and that will be the earliest volume we've gotten from that series. So regardless, I'm excited for those. Action Philosophers is coming out in hardcover and in softcover format. I love when publishers do that. Beauty is coming out in trade paperback format, and that is published by NBM. And that looks, yeah, I love that. That's up my alley. Don't even want to read what it's about. It's done, written by Hubert, and Kedascote is the artist on that. Bloodborne, Lady of Lanterns, Volume 1, published by Titan Comics, based on the world of the video game Bloodborne. Now, this is written by Cullen Bunn, and Peter Kowalski is the artist on that, so that's solid. This collects all 4 issues, plus the free Comic Book Day strip. Cat's Cradle is coming out in hardcover format, The Mole King's Lair, and Darkly She Goes, and that is published also by NBM. This one is a hardcover format, also written by Hubert. That cover is gorgeous. Man, they're putting out some solid books. Darla is coming out, and that is published by Invader Comics by Josh Rubin and Brianna Tippett. This is the debut comic of Josh Rubin. All right. With his films Werewolves Within and Scare Me. Oh, yeah, I remember Scare Me. Wonder what that one's about. The Essential Judge Anderson Shambhala is coming out in softcover. Those are the big magazine type of books, and that's the ones that 2000 AD Rebellion are publishing. Beautiful, beautiful books. Family Style Memories of American from Vietnam is coming out both in hardcover format and in softcover format. Mage and the Endless Unknown also coming out that very same week. And Mullet Mullet Cop. Dude, I saw so many kids at my kids' school with mullets, and I thought to myself, are mullets coming back? Did they ever leave? Sure, there's always somebody in school with mullets. That cover is freaking awesome. That's published by Scout Comics, by the way. Old Caves is coming out from Uncivilized Books. Really dig that cover. Parting Ways coming out that very same week, and that is being published by Scout Comics. And then we're getting Tap Dance Killer, and that is in hardcover format from Hero Tomorrow Comics. And Phantom, the Complete Dailies, hardcover, volumes 27, 1977 to 1978. Hey, 78, it's a good year. The Wedding of the Phantom. Coming in the last week of June from Marvel Comics, we kick it off with New Mutants Epic Collection. The Asgardian Wars, collecting issues 32 to 44 of New Mutants. Annual number 2, New Mutants Special number 1, and that's the part of the Asgardian Wars, and X-Men Annual number 9, and that's where it continues. I'm going to tell you something right now, that cover right there, that will forever be nightmares in my childhood. Oh my gosh. Chris Claremont, the thing that Beyonder did to the kids, oh dude, that was the stuff of nightmares. X-23 with her first Omnibus coming out this week, and 928 pages, $125. Collecting X-23 1 through 6, that's the miniseries. X-23 Target 1 through 6. And then X-23 from 2010, 1 through 21, as well as the one-shot Captain Universe X-23 one-shot, The Ken Dark Wolverine 8 through 9, plus material from X-Men to Serve and Protect number 2, Wolverine The Road to Hell, and all-new Wolverine Saga. Avengers vs. X-Men is getting a new paperback printing, collecting the Avengers vs. X-Men 0 through 12, and then Marvel Point 1, $39.99, 384 pages. Marvel July 1963, Omnibus. There are 3 covers for these, and you have, this of course celebrating 60 years of X-Men. Avengers number 1, Amazing Spider-Man number 5. These are all the comics that came out the month that X-Men came out. X-Men number 1. Fantastic Four number 19 and Annual number 1. Journey into Mystery number 96. Modeling with Millie number 25. Patsy and Hetty number 90 and Annual number 1. Patsy Walker number 109. Rawhide Kid number 36. Sergeant Fury number 3. Strange Tales 113. Tales of Suspense 46. Tales to Astonish 48. X-Men number 1. There it is. Kathy number 25. Kid Colt Outlaw number 113. And Millie the Model number 117. And the Two Gun Kid number 66. So that one is $100, 656 pages, and a lot of those books have never, I mean, you're going to be doing a lot of double dipping if you get all the Omnis, but a lot of those books have never been reprinted in anything. So, Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection, Ghost of the Past. Let me tell you, if you missed it out the first time around, don't sleep on it, because these reprints have a shorter print run, a smaller print run, I'm sorry. And once they go out of print, who knows when you all will vote for it again. But this is one that you all voted for to come back to print. Collecting issues 259 to 272, Annual 18 through 19, and Web of Spider-Man 1 and 6. And this time around, it's $44.99, 472 pages. Another book you all voted for. So again, in case you missed it the first time around, Punisher Epic Collection, Circle of Blood. Collecting the Punisher 1 through 5, the 1986 miniseries, Punisher 1 through 10, the ongoing series Daredevil 257, and Marvel graphic novel Punisher, The Assassin's Guild. Now, in case you want to check out or want to ever dip your toes in the epics, I did do a video on my top 10 best epics for new readers, and that can be found on the channel. And New X-Men Omnibus Volume 3, one of those books, again, that if you missed out on it the first time around, maybe, don't sleep on it this time around, is what I will say. Collecting New X-Men 114 and 154 and Annual Number 1. Both covers available the same day. Captain America Epic Collection, The Secret Empire. Steve Englehart, baby. And Sal Buscema, our pal Sal. Collecting Captain America 160 to 179. So, it's the return. Oh, this is the return of Agent 13, isn't it? Yeah, Agent Carter comes back in that one. Star Wars The High Republic, The Blade is coming out, and this collects the miniseries The Blade, which is all part of the Star Wars High Republic era, the second era of the High Republic. Season 2, I think is what they're calling it. Star Wars Darth Vader by Greg Pak, another series that has been excellent. I'm really digging this modern Dark Horse stuff. But then again, a lot of the Dark Horse stuff, did I say modern Dark Horse? I meant modern Marvel Star Wars stuff. Okay, it's hit and miss. Some of them are great and some of them are but rediscovering the Dark Horse era has been awesome. Oh my gosh, I think there's been one omnibus that I was like, it's the one with Darth Maul. What was it? The Sith, I think? Rise of the Sith. Yeah, didn't dig that one. But the rest of them, oh my gosh, Empire, New Republic, those have been excellent. Old Republic. So this collects Darth Vader 28 through 32. Spider-Man The Lost Hunt. J.M. DeMatteis returns to the story that, put Kraven the Hunter on the map. Unfortunately, it was also his last story. 1 through 5, not J.M. DeMatteis, but Kraven's last story. So this collects Spider-Man The Lost Hunt 1 through 5. Would have been great to see Mike Zeck draw this, but it's Edar Macias that drew this with a Ryan Brown cover. Probably because we have a movie coming out. From the world of DC Comics, we have Dark Crisis, Worlds Without a Justice League, Cy Spurrier, Tom King, Ryan Sook. Wow, that's hella talent right there. Collecting just a bunch of one-shots from the world of Dark Crisis. All these are World Without a Justice League, Green Lantern, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Arrow, and Batman. Those are all one-shots. Absolute Batman 3 Jokers by Jeff Johns and Jason Fabuk. Collecting all 3 issues of that series. Batman Detective Volume 2 Fear State by Mariko Tamaki and drawn by Dan Mora. Dan Mora is just kicking all kinds of ass. 1040 to 1046 and Batman Secret Files. I'm really glad the guy is fast too, and he's a great artist. The Flash Volume 18 The Search for Barry Allen. Jeremy Adams and Will Conrad. This book right here is $24.99. And it is a trade paperback. Doesn't say what it collects, though. DC sometimes leaves out the actual content of the books. Wow, that cover. Wow. Nightwing Volume 3, The Battle for Bloodhaven's Heart. Oh. I've been reading these in trade, and they have been a joy. Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo. I mean, to me, I think my favorite Nightwing will always be the Chuck Dixon, Scott McDaniel stuff. But this stuff, oh, it's up there. It is so good. Tales from the Dark Crisis, Joshua Williamson and Rafael Sandoval, collecting just one-shots from that era of Dark Crisis. And speaking of Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths is coming out in hardcover format. Joshua Williamson, Daniel Sampere, $39.99, 320 pages. It is a standard-sized hardcover collecting all 7 issues of Dark Crisis. From the world of manga, we have Black and White Tough Love at the Office. And I'm not sure what's going on in that office, but I kind of want to know what's going on in that office. That is 7 Seas Entertainment that is publishing that particular book. Faded Away is coming out in hardcover format, and that is published by Rocket Ship Entertainment. But it's not just coming out in hardcover, it's also coming out in softcover format. I love that they do that. Fist of the North Star, hell yes. Love it. I was very happy when Viz reached out to me so I can do an advance overview of Fist of the North Star Volume 1. It meant a lot to me because that was one of the movie, from Toei Animation and Streamline Studios here in America, was one of my childhood anime, or as we called it back then, Japanimation. So it makes me happy that these are selling well enough. I kind of figured they would. I mean, they're hardcover, and people have been buying the Bizarre Adventure, so I was hoping that this would also get some love. Viz is publishing Goodbye Eri, and this here is by Tatsuki Fujimoto. Oh, Chainsaw Man. Okay. $12.99. So yes, the prices of this manga have gone up from $9.99 to $12.99. I mean, they've stayed at $9.99 for as long as they could. I mean, what was it, $7.99, and then it went up to $9.99, and now we're at $12.99. But I mean, prices of collected editions have just gone up. Minami's Lover is coming out also in a hardcover format. This one here is published by Fantagraphics. Minami's Lover is coming out in hardcover format, but this one here is published by Fantagraphics. Shungiku Uchida, and it's a raunchy, moving, funny manga for adults. So, it's one thing to keep in mind. Phantom Tales of the Night, Volume 11. That cover, those colors. Wow, I know it says cover not final, but if the artwork is anything like that on the inside, whoo, that is freaking awesome, man. River's Edge, and that is published by Vertical Comics. That one is a soft cover. Critical Role, Mighty 9 adult coloring book is coming out. So, Dark Horse has been publishing those for a while, the adult coloring books. And we're also getting TMNT from IDW, Morning Adventures Volume 1. So, this is Eric Burnham and Tim Latty collecting the new stuff that is based on the Saturday morning cartoons, the 80s cartoon. Chester 5000 Book 1 by Jess Fink is coming out from IDW. And Deadly Class Volume 4. See what I mean? This is hard, like to do a top 10. Well, yeah, it's always difficult. But Volume 4 wrapping up the series right here, collecting issues 45 through 56. I loved the series so much. They did something in the second volume that Rick Remender, that I wasn't happy with, that I hoped they had stayed with the tone of Volume 1, but at the end of the day, it's his baby. So Rick Remender reunited with Wes Craig. Oh, yes, can't wait to finish this. Regardless, it's still one of the best books by Rick Remender out there. And Philadelphia, Volume 5. Dang it, I keep meaning to go back and finish Volume 1 of the hardcover. So, stuff not in the hardcover format. Megaton Archives. This is really interesting that they're doing this. This is the old school Eric Larson stuff. So, you have Gary Carlson in here, Eric Larson. So, I got some of it right. Butch Guice, Rob Liefeld, Angel Medina. It's the black and white anthology Megaton stuff from 1981 to 1987 being published for the first time. It's got a lot of unpublished artwork and preliminary character designs by Carlson and more. That is freaking awesome. Speaking of Rick Remender, Scumbag, the complete edition deluxe hardcover coming out. Collecting Scumbag 1 through 14. Dude, I am all about that. Coda deluxe edition coming out. And finally, one of my most anticipated books of the year. Been waiting for a hardcover of that, and it is finally coming out that last week of June. All right, and we're getting Geronimo Stilton Reporter 3-in-1 graphic novel. This is a volume 2, and that is coming out from Paper Cuts. So it's good to see. I think Paper Cuts and Mad Cave are working together now to publish books. We're getting a lot of Lady Death. We're getting Lady Death Rules, the hardcover volume 4. And on top of that, we're getting a reprint of Lady Death Rules volumes 1 through 3. But it's coming out as a trade paperback set. And Planetoid and Other Stories is coming out in hardcover. A Boy Named Rose is coming out in trade paperback from Fair Square Comics. Living the Line is releasing The Abolition of Man, the Lux Edition hardcover. This is the stuff that I believe was all drawn by AI, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the stuff that's all drawn by AI. Allura, Witch Princess is coming out. Look how cute that looks, from Phoenix Studios. Archer and Armstrong, baby! This is the Revival trade paperback coming out from Valiant. Still in the game. Still in the game. Ballad of Ronin Part 1 from Action Lab Entertainment. Loving that cover. And Big Ugly. Big Ugly's coming out from Avery Hill Publishing. And Ahoy Comics is bringing out The Billionaire Island Cult of Dogs. And Book of Shadows is coming out in trade paperback format. Man, Valiant's coming out strong because there's two. We got another one here in a second. Convoy. This looks so good. This is published by Magnetic Press. Kevin Stevens and Jeff is the artist. I love that cover, and I'm a big fan of Magnetic Press. I need to do a spotlight on Magnetic Press, honestly. And we're also getting Cryptic Kids coming out in hardcover and in graphic novel, softcover format. Bach Ness Monster. Cupcake Diaries, another one of those books coming out in hardcover and softcover. Volume 4, Alexis and Perfect Recipe. Deadlands, Dead Man's Hand is coming out in hardcover format, and that is published by Sex Publishing. CEX, not to be confused with the other one. And Ember and Island of Lost Creatures is coming out, and that is published by Harper Alley. Eternal Warriors. Oh man, the Eternal Warrior was one of my favorite Valiant books. This is the stuff in here by Jim Shooter, of course, Barry Windsor Smith, Kevin Van Hook, and John Dixon. Yeah, Lee, does this bring back memories? This one here collects Eternal Warrior 1 through 25. That, I think, was 1991, 1992 when that came out. Eternal Warrior Yearbook, number 1. Archer and Armstrong, 25. Arbinger, 32. Secret Weapons, 3 and 6 and 6 through 10. And Valiant Era Companion, number 1, $125. That's something I've been wanting to jump on. For some reason, I haven't gotten into any of the classic stuff, and now they're near impossible to find. Fantagraphics Underground Nudism Comes to Connecticut is coming out in a hardcover format. And at first I thought it was a slipcase. It is $30. And we're also getting Mexica, Aztec Princess. This is coming out in trade paperback format. Mezcal from Magnetic Press. Kevin Stevens and Jeff also working on this particular book. Huh. Yeah, when I get at these Magnetic Press books, I don't like reading what they're about. I'm all about just finding out for myself, because you never know if it's going to be sci-fi or if it's going to be fantasy, if it's going to be futuristic, where's it going. Ninjak. My Friend Toby, also from Magnetic Press. Wow. I see a dog. They better leave that dog alone. I like to let people know, if there's any animal harm in books when I read them myself. Because, sometimes they get a little rough. Look at you stray dogs, man. All right. Neptune Volume 2, Episode 2 is coming out that very same week. And Ninjak. Hell yes, Ninjak is coming out that week. We're also getting Monstrous from First Second Book, coming out in hardcover and softcover format, and Mother Nature Volume 1. This is the hardcover from Titan Comics. This is the one that Jamie Lee Curtis is co-writing with Russell Goodman, and Carl Stevens is the artist on this book. It's her first graphic novel. Nottingham from Cinebook, Volume 3, Robin is coming out. Pantera, hell yes. Vulgar Display of Power is coming out in hardcover format. Now we've got some pre-code classics over here. We have the pre-code classics Weird Terror. This is a softie, softcover, trade paperback, Volume 1. And then we have a hardcover and a slipcase of PS Art Books Classic Sci-Fi Comics, Volume 6, coming out that very same week. We're also getting Rank's Complete Collection from Heavy Metal Entertainment coming out. That is a hardcover format. As well as Samurai Doggy, that's adorable, from Aftershock. There's Aftershock, I haven't seen him in a while. From Chris Tex and Santos, $24.99, collecting the first 6 issues of Samurai Doggy. And Sire is coming out in trade paperback format, published by Dren Productions. Smoketown Remastered trade paperback is coming out, and that is by Scout Comics. And Blue Fox Comics is giving us Sparks and the Fallen Star. Digging that cover. Sulphur Wells is coming out in hardcover format that very same week, and that is published by Blood Moon Comics. There's also going to be a trade paperback edition of that. The hardcover is $59.99, and the trade paperback is $19.99. Trojan is coming out in trade paperback format from Artists, Writers, and Artisans Incorporated, and that is $9.99. Twisted Dark is coming out, and that is volume 2. This is a new printing of Twisted Dark from TPB, and then we're getting Twisted Dark volume 7, which is the latest volume of Twisted Dark. And that is all written by Neil Gibson, and Jan Wingard is the artist on those books. And to wrap up the month and the week of June, we got West Moon Chronicles from Scout Comics. Now, if you're interested in purchasing these books, check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page, and those were the books for the month of June. Let me know in the comments down below which books you're picking up. Let me know in the comments down below which books interest you, which books have been moved to July, and yeah, what you plan on reading as soon as you get it. And don't forget to come back to the channel for the top 10 on Sundays. If you want written documentation, check out our Patreon. The link is in the description of the video. That's it for me, everyone. Stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.